I didn't know Miss Broadway. I don't know how she could identify my voice from an argument happening down the hall. First time I ever laid eyes on her was the day before, and she was so drunk she couldn't have told you whether it was Hanukkah or Halloween.
Mr. Douglas, I know that you've maintained your innocence throughout this trial, and I have to tell you that I'm struggling. I mean, I'm sitting here with this verdict, and I just don't know.
Your Honor, I got a 10-year-old son. He's been coming to the jail with his mother every week for years now. My son's a beautiful child. It's a brilliant child. Brilliant child. I thank God every day. And I commit this crime.
For people who don't know what that is or what that was a clip from, that was from Rob Peace, and that is on Netflix, and it is based on a true story. So I'm gonna still give my real opinion, but I'm not gonna lie to you. That, oh my God, it pissed me off so bad. Like, I'm not gonna hold you, because it made me really hate his dad with a passion, dog. Like, and then I don't care if he did it or he didn't do it. The thing that really pissed me off about it was just like, why are you allowing your son to kind of throw his life away trying to help you? Like, that just irritated my soul. Like, and I get it. His son had a big heart. I mean, you can kind of see that it didn't matter if it was his dad or if it was one of his friends, but still, for you to be a parent and allow and knowing that your kid was kind of just, you just had your kid chasing a wild dream and a hope like that. Oh, that pissed me off, dog.
But do you think he knew what the son was doing?
I don't think he cared, and that's why I like Mary J. character. Like, when she had that last conversation with him after he went to go see those two, that husband and wife, and they had the picture and showed them the picture of the father holding the gun, and then he came, in front. He had confronted his mom, and of course his mom was played by Mary J. And when he confronted her and saying, "Hey, why didn't tell me?" or whatever the case may be, because she said, "I know for a fact, if I had the more of a shadow of a doubt that you believe that your dad was innocent, you would have never gave up on him and would have never gave your own future a real chance." And he still, realistically, he didn't. Like, bro, he literally just he could have went to graduate school and everything for free and threw it out of his window because he was trapping out the school. Like, you going to Yale and you real life out here trying to be the biggest weed man on campus. Like, and I respect his girlfriend for even sitting and saying something to him, because it's a lot of people, not even just women, but just, I can't even just say anybody, because look at his friends. Everybody was just cool, getting along with it, and was just like, cool, we just gonna go with the program. He found the play, we gonna run this play. And his girl was the only person who real life really said something like, nah, bro, I'm not, you throwing your future away trying to help your dad, but your dad realistically got convicted for killing 2 women. Like, you okay with what you trying to help your dad get out of jail for?
Yeah, that was messed up. It was messed up that the father put him in that situation to make it feel like it was his responsibility to get him out.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Like,
he threw his career, his future away.
Yeah, that one, I swear that it just pissed me off so much. And I guess one of the reasons why I wanted y'all to watch it was because I guess to me, it goes on to just parenting in general. Like, that was like one of those episodes where, one of those movies where it kind of really lets you sit here and say, I don't, like, the way parents their kids do kind of like portray how your kid eventually will become, like, because it's just like, you kind of like, your son didn't have no real potential to grow because you really ain't even allow him to. You didn't push it. Like, you kind of really just made him still be so attached to the jail thing. Was like, that was kind of like messed up.
Who though? The mother?
No, the father.
Oh, okay.
The mom was kind of just like, all right, cool. Because I even respected the mom was like, when she even told her mother, was like, yeah, he can go to school here until elementary school. After elementary school, it's a wrap. Like, there's no way he will ever be able to actually flourish as a student if I keep him going to regular public schools in the neighborhood, because people going to just know him as his dad's son, and his dad is a convicted murderer at this point. So it was kind of just like, man, it was just frustrating to see that you really did the kid, he didn't get to hit his full potential. Like, even, and it was just like one of those things where it's like, he was a victim of the community from just even one. He had a heart too big just for that community in general, but it was kind of like he never even really got to flourish. Like him, I think him just realistically, not even just, of course, even with the weed situation and him getting caught at the end of even though he got to graduate, but him not be able to go soon as right after he graduate, go straight to graduate school, that kind of hindered him. And his dad got to still, his death still kind of even, of course, he was grown, he graduated from, and he's very smart. So we could easily say that you can make your own decisions. He was smart enough to be able to graduate from Yale in honors, but still was just like, sometimes you can be book smart and can't be street smart. And it was kind of like you on the teeter, and even when you watching it, kind of like he was a little bit of both, but it was still just like, bruh, what the hell?
He what? You think he was street smart? Because she kind of kept him away from that. So I don't. If he was street smart, I mean, with the way he, did the weed and everything, yes. But if he was street smart, he wouldn't have moved like that.
What do you think? Okay, so where do you think he messed up? Where do you feel like he messed up at?
Because he wasn't like he said, he wasn't a gangster. You got into this just because it worked in college. And you wasn't getting no kickback in college because there was nobody else there. You on the streets trying to do this now. So if you were street smart, then you would have done it another way or not done it at all. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. But I think that goes back to even just when I'm saying his heart was a little too big, because even for his, like, you got to think about, he started hustling because his man was crashing out crime because he put up bread and they lost and he ended up losing money. And it's like, I mean, that comes a part of investment. You make any investment, there's no guarantees. And I don't necessarily know, maybe because he just kept his money in, because I'm like, all right, after y'all sold the initial house, why you just ain't take your 20 back and then whatever y'all had profit wise and just keep flipping that? I kind of didn't understand that whole thing, but it was just like, damn, it was kind of just like, all right, boom, you get your man back his money, then you get smoked right after you get your man back his money. It was kind of just like, I do agree with you, like, yeah, you kind of really wasn't.
Because the mother kept him out of it. She sent him to private school. So although he lived in a neighborhood, he did not go to school with those type of kids.
Yeah, but I guess my only thing where I want to kind of say he was kind of street smart was to the point where it was like, he didn't, like, even for him to still be able to come back and know how to even just still kind of, because he did what he said he was going to do. He took over and moved the weed super fast. He knew what, like, how to supply the streets, but I just don't think he was ready for, like you said, the kickback, because there was no kickback in college. Mm-hmm. So and that comes to the point where even the dude came to the dorms like, you're not no gangster. So that is kind of realistically, especially trying to move that type of weight, you do need, realistically, you're going to need some type of muscle, and he didn't have no muscle.
Yeah.
None of his men was really built like that. They was kind of just going along with whatever he had going on because he was him. So it was just like, man, but it was still just like, I don't want to put so much of that blame on the father, because it was just like, bro, you didn't never be a man and just tell your son to focus on himself. Like, he had to hear it from his mom, but still that love for his dad would never allow him to just forget about his dad. Mm-hmm. Like, even for his dad to sit here and tell him like he got cancer while he in jail, it was kind of just like, I was on the fence about that. Like, bro, just why you couldn't just die in peace?
Because he wanted to come him.
Yeah, because you wanted your son to feel, and that's my point. That's your selfishness. That was the father being selfish, where it's like, bro, you in here regardless for life or death. So if you kind of already know that you about to tap out, even just perfect example. Again, when I'm saying the dad being selfish, why even let your son spend money on that lawyer? He spent 30 bands on that lawyer. Why not sit here and say, nah, I'm cool, just let me die in this joint in peace?
He should have.
And that's what I'm saying. Him saying, when it's a parent and you're not being a real parent, or you're not man enough to sit here and man up and be like, let me take my responsibilities on the chin and kind of just like, it is what it is. Like, that to me was like, it was, you have to put a lot of his downfall on his dad not manning up and just taking them charges. Even if you did it or you didn't, you put yourself in that situation. And that's just kind of like, I can't sit here like, as an adult, you kind of know what situations you put yourself in. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not sitting here about to tell me that even if his dad didn't do it, you sitting here saying 2 women got clapped in your apartment building, and you sitting here saying you ain't do it, then who did it? So if you really cared about your son that much, then screw you trying to hold down the street politics or whatever, you should have snitched then. If you really cared about your son that much, but that's my point where I'm sitting here saying is, you could tell a lot of that was just his dad own selfishness. Like, he didn't allow his son, he really clipped his son's wings on so many different levels when you kind of really just break it down, where he could have kind of just did what he, just like you said, served his time. Yeah, that's it. Because you kind of like you dragged your son along too much. And even just to me, just to know that your son was that smart and that educated, he was striving that much in school, why even keep having him even come to the jail? Even you didn't even respect him sitting here saying, stop calling me at the school.
Right.
But I'm ashamed, dog. I'm going to school with kids whose parents are fully, they ain't on here on no scholarship. One, I'm black, I'm already kind of behind the 8 ball, and I'm here on a scholarship with most of the people around me not here on no scholarship. They here because their parents can afford it out of pocket. So why you really trying to make me stand out even more? You trying to make me have to ask questions that I wasn't ready. And that's why I like the girlfriend, because she kept it a buck with him. It was like, yeah, you trying to help your dad, but if you really wanted to help your dad and you felt like he really ain't do it, then why not just raise a fundraiser? People here at the school love you. People will give you some bread, but you don't want to because you don't want to have to sit and answer questions that you know for a fact you're not 100% positive with the answers to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like her like that. Her rhyme of reasoning and kind of really just kind of like telling him to man up and be a man about it. It was like, I like that girlfriend so much because she was just so brutally honest with him. And I think he honestly needed it. Because I guess like now I'm saying it out, I do kind of agree with you. Is like, he probably was a lot more street smart, but when it came to, not street smart, but book smart than he was street smart, because like, even just with some of those things, like when she said that to him, like that kind of like, if you was a little bit more street smart, you probably maybe just wouldn't have invested so much time in your dad. You might have been one of the people like, all right, the same way parents wash their hands with their kids, like as a kid, sometimes you got to wash your hands with your parents as well. And I think that's what he should have did with his dad. It was like, man, his dad blew me, dog. He blew me so bad. And it was just like, and then even when he went to Mary J and then Mary J told him like the reason why we didn't grow up in the same house. And I hate that that's again, his father not being honest, because you try to put it off on make it like y'all didn't grow up in the same house together because it was Mary J fault whole time. It wasn't Mary J fault. You was putting your hands on Mary J and she just never told your son about it and just, try to raise y'all and co-parent, respectfully, because it seemed like the co-parenting situation was straight. They didn't have no real animosity towards each other when they were swapped. You know what I'm saying? Like it was cool. It kind of seemed like it was cordial. Like it wasn't too much of a big deal. Even for her to let him back in the house when he came home from jail, like when he got that, when he had that first appeal. So it was kind of like, it didn't seem like it was nothing, no real animosity towards their past. But then it kind of just, when he asked her them questions and she was kind of like, dog, your dad put his hands on me before. So I'm not taking it. I'm not sitting here saying, I believe that he's 100%, he's 100% innocent. I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. So again, like I said, man, his dad just blew me. His dad really pissed me off. Like, and shout out to his roommates. Like, I even like the way how he kind of brought everybody together. Like how he brought the black kids together who was like on their super woke stuff, and then they brought them in there with the white kids, and they kind of all was just like they was cool, and they was kind of like it was like, oh, y'all not as bad as I thought you was, and like realistically, y'all all go to Yale. Most of y'all got more in common than you don't have in common. Even though that you may be different, may been raised differently, maybe come from different areas. But realistically, if you can go to that school, obviously, one, your people's got bread, or two, you are very smart. So always a little bit of both. So I think you have a lot more in common. And I like the way that how they kind of even, when they got to hang out with each other, they kind of, they got cordial with each other. It wasn't still as much animosity towards the two different groups of people. So like I said, man, it was a good job. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was one of them shows that kind of like pulled. And when you found out at the end when he got killed, I was like, bro, it just broke my heart because it was like he had so much potential.
Yeah, he didn't play it right because I feel like he was doing so much. How did you think that people wouldn't know who you were? Your friends, yes, his homeboys, yes, but him. How did you think that people wouldn't know who you were? That you was trying at the very end when he was trying to, sell the weed or whatever. How did you think that you was going to get out of that and people not know who you are? Because like you was a big time real estate, you know what I'm saying? Real estate agent. How did you think that they were not going to recognize you? Even if they didn't, they just, oh, that's the dude from TV. I seen him on commercial or whatever. How did you think that was going to go down? They didn't know you.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, that kind of goes a little bit more proves that your point that he really wasn't as street smart. But that's even my point of even just like, how do you feel like you should have took all the blunt of the blame for when the housing market and the stock market crashed in 2008? Like, it seemed like y'all was cranking for a minute because you're absolutely right. Before it all crashed, they had rows of houses with their junk in the yard. So that means you were selling a bunch of houses. How do you say we cranked out this many houses? How do I take the blunt of the blame? Like, there's no way my man would have had to eat his 20 bands, just like I'm sure I had to eat mine. Like, I didn't understand that part where it was kind of like, how is it my fault? Like, I don't care that you lost all your bread. Like, we've been cranking. So obviously you had some highs with it. Like, I don't necessarily know. Like, that maybe just his heart was just a little too big.
I think he said that was it. Like, that was one of the guys said that's all that he had.
But no, what I'm saying is, cool. That was for them to get their very first house. They sold that house, like you said, right before the stock market crashed in 2008. Though they had rows of houses. Mm-hmm. Like, it literally, like that one little street when he was walking down and it was like all these people doing construction here, doing construction there. It was literally like 5 different houses like that he done sold. So that means y'all made some money. So I'm trying to just figure out why his man didn't take some of the bread back. Like, the initial money did you put up? Like, I'm trying to figure out how was all his money, that same 20,000 still stuck into their business flow. Like, that one kind of that part was kind of threw me off just a little bit. But like I said, man, that was a great watch. And it was just, man, it was just, even the way it ended, where it was just like with the water again, like him sitting here saying like when he was a kid, when he told his girlfriend about how, you know, like when he used to listen to the tires go around and they close his eyes and it made it seem like a beach, and then him dying off, because it's like they never really showed him dying off. You kind of had to put two and two together, where it was like, all right, now Mary J coming back out and hugging the little boy at the beach, and it's like, damn, then the girlfriend crying, and it's just like, man, what the hell, dog? Like, because you know the way it ended when the dude like, which I thought, so his man must have lived then, because
he ran out.
He ran out the house,
and dropped the gun.
Yeah, that's so. At first, I thought it was him. I didn't know that was his man until, of course, you know, the way it ended, and he was like, "Oh, all right, well then that was him. That wasn't his man. That, you know, I mean, that was his man that ran out. That wasn't him." And like I said, that John was a good watch. You got any other takeaways from it, or any?
No, it was good. It's like you said, it's kind of sad because he had so much potential, and it was just gone. And like you said, that you can blame that on the father, because he would have never even gotten to that lifestyle had he not been trying to get his father out of jail.
Yeah, dog. Damn.
And everybody was telling him, his mother, his grandmother, the teacher at his old school, they was all telling him to leave.
Yeah, and I guess that's what made it even sad, because it was just like, because, you know, because when originally, and I'm gonna tie that into later, just in a few, when we talking about why I don't like the fact that even with the music business and they people allow just